jiu-jitsu specialist. Wow, he's had a ton of fights, he's had some big wins, but maybe you don't know about him until Ron Kruk takes him to the corner.
In the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, the legendary Gracie family were considered heroes in Brazil for creating Brazilian jiu-jitsu and for their many accomplishments in the ring. During that same period of time, a Vale-Tudo practitioner was making a name for himself by stringing together an incredible winning streak and never suffering a defeat in hundreds of bouts. However, he didn't emerge from the Gracie's shadows until he accomplished something that no other fighter had done before: defeat Carlson Gracie. He may be one of the greatest fighters no one in America has ever heard of. Euclides Pereira began fighting Vale-Tudo bouts in Brazil in 1958, taking on anyone and everyone, conquering them all.
I won all the fights I was in, and I lost track of how many. About 350 fights for the records, but there were probably much more. But I don't care much about numbers.
His career is the stuff legends are made of. Fighting at least once a month on a Brazilian TV show, Pereira beat hundreds of opponents. He also defeated or drew against Brazil's top fighters, including Ivan Gomez, Valdemar Santana, and Zulu. Finally, a super fight with the legendary Carlson Gracie was set up in 1968. Thousands of spectators packed a soccer stadium to witness Euclides face the man most considered unbeatable in Vale-Tudo.
Carlson Gracie was mentally tough to prepare for, but it wasn't my toughest fight. The fight started standing up, and Carlson's strategy was to bring me to the ground. I was trained by my coach not to accept the ground game because the Gracies are famous for fighting on the ground. My strategy was to keep the fight standing up, so I blocked him like this, and like this, and like this. At one point, he got me on the ground, and he got me in a guillotine. I defended it, and we rolled out of the ring. After that, we got back up, and he couldn't catch me again. I hit him very hard, and he stood dizzy in the ring. His uncle Elio was shouting, "Stand up! Don't get knocked out! You are a Gracie!" In the end, my face was clean and he was messed, and I won by points. I admire Carlson a lot. He was a good person, polite, and a good man.
After you defeated Carlson Gracie, were you considered the #1 fighter in Brazil?
The ultimate test was to beat Carlson Gracie, and I did it. At least in the north and northeast of Brazil, I'm considered the best and the most technical fighter. But in Rio de Janeiro, it was denied. They don't mention it and don't talk about it.
Forever the teacher, Pereira is happy to pass along his abundant fight knowledge to today's MMA athletes. The 69-year-old impressed heavyweights Justin Wren and Tony Johnson.
I tell people about Euclides, it's going to be tough for them to believe me. Whenever I heard about it, I thought, that this guy was a myth. Being able to work out with him, it's probably going to be the same thing. There's going to be a lot of skeptics, but what's awesome about it is I know 100% that the stuff he's showing is legit and that he's done it before.
He grabbed me the first time. I was like, goodness, I couldn't even get him off me. It was like a pit bull, I'm like, 69, that's just being strong, It's funny. He's those crazy things. He throws elbows like crazy, just throws elbows out of everywhere, I'm like, wow, just things you don't think about.
I feel him on top and how smooth he is at transitioning from submission to submission. I hope at 50 I can do what he's doing, or even 40.
Every fighter must be physically prepared, have courage and technique, because you don't buy courage in the pharmacy, you need to have it, and if you don't, you can be embarrassed in the ring.
With race also.
Although he never received the accolades throughout Brazil, the Gracies did, Euclides Pereira is content with just being recognized for his accomplishments.
Very happy, and I thank God for being alive to tell my story while others from my generation are gone. It is my good fortune to be here to fight, to train, and to teach. This is my happiness.
Thanks, Ron. Great story.
Great story. That's the Brazilian pose.
That's it.
Yeah.
Next up, Euclides fights Jose Canseco
For the belt.
for the belt.
I wanted to say something else, I'm not going to say it.